Study we covered analysis of resting contents and the fractional test mean analysis. Today we'll study analysis after stimulation, where we give the some stimulant like alcohol, caffeine, histamine, insulin, and pentagastrin. So these stimulants are given to the patient, and then after that we can collect the gastric juice and we can examine the composition of the gastric juice. So let's go to the slide number analysis after stimulation. Analysis after stimulation, yes. Here, alcohol stimulation is the procedure where we give alcohol to the patient. The residual contents removed after overnight fasting. This is the first step we have to do while doing the alcohol stimulation test. The patient has to report to the laboratory, and in the lab, the residual contents is removed uh, in the morning time, because the patient should report to the lab in the overnight fasting condition. Next, after just removal of the residual gastric content, the patient has to be taken 7% 100 ml ethyl alcohol. So orally, the patient can take it 100 ml of 7% ethyl alcohol. Third, the samples are taken every 15 minutes. Now we can collect sample in the interval of 15 minutes, right? And we can analyze. We can do the analysis of free acidity, total acidity, pepsin, blood, bile, and mucus. So we can take 3-4 sample within the interval of 15 minutes after alcohol stimulation. This is the caffeine stimulation test, similar to what we did in the alcohol stimulation. Here, stimulus is caffeine, sodium benzoate, 500 mg in 200 ml water given orally. So caffeine is given orally here, just like alcohol, 7% alcohol, you have to give 100 ml orally. So here caffeine is given in the form of caffeine sodium benzoate. The total amount is 500 mg in 200 ml water. Next is the histamine stimulation test. Histamine is a powerful stimulant for HCl in a normal stomach. So when the histamine is given, so it will stimulate the stomach to produce a lot of HCl. Basically, histamine acts on the receptors present in the stomach, basically on a specific cell that is called as oxyntic cell. So this oxyntic cells has a receptor for histamine, which will, stimulate to produce HCl in the stomach, and we get a lot of HCl. It is best to differentiate between true eclothydria from the false eclothydria. Here, eclothydria is a medical term which means no HCl production. So if there is a true eclothydria, then it can be differentiated from the false eclothydria. Let's say there is a report which is showing that there is no HCl in the gastric juice. So we can do the histamine stimulation test, and this is a confirmatory test which will help you to differentiate two types of eclothydria from a true eclothydria from the false eclothydria. Types of histamine test. One is the standard histamine test. Second one is the augmented histamine test, also known as case test. What is standard histamine test? Here histamine is given subcutaneously in the dose of 0.01 mg per kg body weight. Absence of HCl, so there is a spelling mistake. There is absence. If there is absence of HCl, it indicates Achillea gastrica, also known as true eclothydria. Okay, so true eclothydria is also known as Achillea gastrica. Increase in HCl indicate duodenal ulcer. So when we do this test, spindle histamine test, so the procedure is you have to inject subcutaneously 0.01 mg of histamine per kg body weight, and after that you can collect the sample gastric juice and you can analyze the presence of HCl. If there is an absence of HCl, then it is termed as a chylia gastrica, which is a true achlorhydria. If there is a increase in HCl secretion, then we confirm that there is a duodenal ulcer. What is augmented histamine test, also known as case test? The procedure is after overnight fasting, the residual contents are removed. This is the common in the what we studied in the entire previous test, that overnight fasting is required. The patient should report in the lab in the fasting condition, and the residual contents should be analyzed. And then after that, we can do the you can give the patient this stimulant or what we say oatmeal, so some test meal. Okay, so contents are collected every 20 minutes for an 1 hour. Okay, so halfway through this period, 4 ml of mepyramine mediate given intramuscular to block H1 receptor, and at the end of his 1 hour, acid phosphate 0.04 mg per kg body weight uh, is given, and contains removed every 15 minutes for 1 hour. So this injection of histamine should be given subcutaneously. SC means subcutaneous. Okay, and what we see that in augmented histamine test, the normal response is up to 10 milliequivalent per hour acid is present in the prehistamine specimen, with the 10 to 25 milliequivalent in post-histamine specimen. So at the residual time, okay, at the time of residual content examination, we find that the up to 10 milliequivalent per hour acid is present, whereas after giving the histamine, we can see that there is a 10 to 25 milliequivalent, the acids are present. In pernicious anemia, what happens in pernicious anemia? So no free HCl is secreted when we do the augmented histamine test, and if there is a pernicious anemia, the HCl is absent. In duodenal ulcer, we can see there is a more than 100 milliequivalent per milliequivalent of acids are present. Let's know about insulin stimulation test, also known as Wallender's test. Hypoglycemia is a potent stimulus for gastric acid secretion. This is what we have, theoretically you have to understand. Hypoglycemia is a medical term which means decrease in the blood sugar level. So when there is a hypoglycemia, it causes gastric acid secretion. So indication of this test is to check the effectiveness of vagotomy in patient with a duodenal ulcer. So vagotomy is cutting off the vagus nerve. Okay. So when we do vagotomy, so we can check it the effectiveness, that how much is it's working in the patient having duodenal ulcer. So 15 unit of soluble insulin intravenously can be given as a stimulus. This IV means intravenous, and how much you have to give? 15 unit of the insoluble unit. What is the result of insulin stimulation test? The result is we can see that before vagotomy and after successful vagotomy, there is no response, and acid level is very low. So here there is no response and acid level is very low after vagotomy. So this is what we have concluded. Okay, acid level is very low. This is a screenshot of the one of the page from the one Chatterjee, the textbook of medical biochemistry by Chatterjee and Rana Shinde. You can find this about the insulin stimulation test. Where insulin stimulation test, we can see that hypoglycemia. The insulin, when we inject insulin, it leads to cause hypoglycemia. Okay, and the hypoglycemia can leads to increase the gastric acid secretion. This is what the concept is there for insulin stimulation test. So therefore, we inject insulin. Otherwise, there is no any concern. This is the what the principle of the test. The principle is that insulin decreases the blood glucose level, and decrease in blood glucose level can stimulate the gastric acid secretion, right? And this is the the results which we can see before vagotomy and after successful vagotomy, and there is no response and acid level is very low. Pentagastrin test. Pentagastrin is a synthetic peptide. It is a potent stimulator. It's a very high stimulator for gastric secretion. It measures the total parietal mass, the parietal cells, okay, parietal cells of the stomach. So how much the parietal cells are present. So it helps to measure the total parietal cell mass. How much dose we have to give it to the patient while testing the pentagastrin test? The dose is 6 microgram per kg body weight subcutaneously we have to give. Okay, so this is the dose per kg, means 1 kg of patient should receive 6 microgram. So if there is a 70 kg of body weight person or patient, so in that case 70 multiplied by 6, so around 420 microgram of this pentagastrin should be given subcutaneously to the patient. What is the procedure for pentagastrin test? First of all, the patient should reach to the lab in the fasting condition. After emptying the stomach of resting contents, so you need to take out all the resting contents, gastric contents through the Ryle's tube. Collect gastric juice secreted for next 1 hour to have basal secretion. So empty stomach resting contents should be taken. Then again next 1 hour basal secretion should be taken out. And then after that, after 1 hour of gap, okay, you have to collect the gastric juice which are secreted during the basal secretion, and after that you just inject the pentagastrin, the dose that we have discussed, the 6 microgram per kg body weight. Subcutaneously we have to inject it. Now we need to collect 4 samples within 15-minute intervals. The sample is a gastric juice, okay? And now we can do the analysis. Analyze all the specimens, all the 4 specimens. What we need to analyze? We need to do the physical examination. We need to do the chemical examination. The pentagastrin test clinical significance. So in normal condition, the basal secretion rate is 1 to 2.5 milliequivalent per hour. This is the basal secretion. Okay, and after pentagastrin stimulus, it is now it reaches to 20 to 40 milliequivalent per hour. So this is the response of pentagastrin test. That normally it's a after stimulus the value reaches from 20 to 40 milliequivalent per hour. When there is a duodenal ulcer, at the time we can see there is the value is 15 to 80 milliequivalent per hour, and the mean it is 43. So if the value above 40 indicates duodenal ulcer. Just remember it, the value above 40 milliequivalent per hour, it indicates the duodenal ulcer in the patient. If there is a Zollinger-Ellison syndrome, in such condition, the basal secretion is more than 10 milliequivalent per hour. Sorry. So this is the clinical significance of pentagastrin test. Based on this, we can be able to differentiate normal duodenal ulcer and Zollinger-Ellison syndrome. Now, tubeless gastric analysis. What is tubeless gastric analysis? Here, we do not insert the Ryle's tube into the stomach. So here we avoid discomfort of nasogastric tube because there is a discomfort while inserting nasogastric tube or Ryle's tube. Used only as a screening test. This test is used only as a screening test or what we say qualitative test. So fasting secretion is stimulated by histolog After 1 hour, dye-bound resin diagnosed glue with the azure is given orally. So here we give, uh, this Diagnex blue, okay, resin we usually give along with the azure A, and the complex of these two is given orally, okay. Tubeless gastric analysis, we are learning in the presence of HCl resin releases dye which is absorbed and excreted in the urine. So this dye is excreted in the urine, and the quantity of dye in urine provides indication of the presence or absence of HCl. So what we have taken orally uh, as a patient. So now if you can take the urine sample and you can measure the quantity of dye in the urine, and it that dye presence in the urine indicate that there is a presence or absence of HCl in the gastric juice. It is not reliable in the patient with the renal disease or urinary retention or malabsorption or pyloric obstruction. So this type of test is not good for the patients having the renal diseases, okay, or what do we say, urinary retention or malabsorption or pyloric obstruction. Okay, this tubeless gastric analysis is only is a substitute sometime as a screening test when the patient has a discomfort while inserting the nasal tubes or Ray's tube. So we have completed the gastric function test. For more studies or for more content or for more details, you can refer to this Hemant-Chatterjee Rana Sendri author book known as Textbook of Medical Biochemistry. So you can study in details. Now we can discuss if you have any questions here. Do you have any questions over here? Yeah, any questions? We have studied gastric function test. Surprise has no confusion. Okay. So I got a message. Joaquin, did you understand?